What if I told you that the plan you have for your life, the dreams, the goals, the carefully thought out steps, is probably not what God actually has in mind for you? And what if I told you that the struggles, the detours, and even the heartbreak you're facing right now are actually part of something bigger? Something you just can't see yet? I have spent more than 40 years figuring this out, and I am going to save you decades of time, confusion, and suffering in the next 4 minutes. Hi, I'm Loida, and I used to think that if I followed God's promptings, everything would fall perfectly into place. But over the years, I've learned something huge. God's plan is always greater than mine, and in the next few minutes, I want to share how I learned to trust Him, especially when nothing made sense. When my husband and I felt prompted to move to Utah, I knew it was because I was meant to go to BYU, get my degree, and build a better future for my family. It made perfect sense. Things started falling into place perfectly to make the move somewhat effortless. Doors opened and everything seemed to align exactly the way I had envisioned. I felt so sure that I was walking the path God had laid out for me. But life here wasn't what I expected. We lost a pregnancy, something that broke my heart in ways I can't even describe. Then, something terrible happened to one of my daughters that shattered her self-esteem and sent her down a painful path of self-destruction, affecting our entire family. We faced trials that made me cry out to God, "Why? Why did you bring us here if you knew we would suffer like this?" It wasn't until recently that I started to understand. When my husband was called as the bishop of our ward, it all started to make sense. God hadn't just brought us here for me. He was preparing him. He was preparing us. Every hardship we endured shaped us. My husband was becoming a more compassionate leader, a better husband, and a stronger father. And I was growing in ways I never could have imagined. And one thing is for sure, He never left us alone during our trials. He was always there, guiding us, comforting us when we were hurting or feeling lost. Through signs, He made sure we knew He was there for us. I think about the scripture in Doctrine and Covenants that says, "Know thou, my son, that all these things shall give thee experience and shall be for thy good." At the time, I couldn't see how any of it could be for my good. But now, looking back, I can see how God was refining us, molding us into who He needed us to become. And the truth is, I still don't see the full picture. God is still leading me, one step at a time. This very channel, this journey into sharing about prayer and spirituality, is something I felt prompted to do. I have no idea where it will lead, but I do know this. If I listen, if I take one small step at a time, He will show me the way. Because God's plan isn't just bigger, it's better. If you're in a season where nothing makes sense, if you feel like God has led you somewhere only for you to struggle, don't lose hope. Keep trusting. Because one day you'll look back and see that He was guiding you somewhere greater than you ever imagined. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to join me on this journey. Subscribe, leave a comment, and let's walk this path together, one step at a time.